I'm bringing out the big guns today.
Butch for sure.
Well,
All right, so here's the format. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to get everybody in. So this is a webinar format, right? We'll get participants so they can only see you guys and hear you. And then if anybody has questions or things, you go to the chat or the question and answer, and we can dig into that as we jump into it. But this will creep up. We're about to 40 participants now along the way.
Is Marta joining?
Yeah, she's supposed to be, yes. We got Marta and David Jones.
Christina?
Well, she'll come on at the end later, and we'll have Dale and give some other
Oh,
names.
okay.
Along
It
the way.
just shows Christina on my screen.
Yeah. Yes. All right, let's, why don't we jump in here a little bit, and really what I do is just tell us what you're experiencing right now. Well, first, let's do this. Butch, how long you been in the real estate business?
Just starting year number 19.
19. Okay. And what did you do before real estate?
My background is accounting. I was a controller with Schlumberger before joining real estate, but other than that, a few other corporations.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Great. Serena, how long you been in real estate?
Since December of 1998, so it's about 21 years.
Okay. 21 years. Okay. What did you do before real estate?
Well, I was a teacher in a college back in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. They want me to switch to gallery view. Okay. Great. Andy, how long you been in real estate?
Let's see, 16 years.
Okay. What did you do before real estate?
And I was a teacher before that.
Okay. All right. Butch, jump in. Tell us what you're experiencing right now.
Well, it's a crazy market. Like I said, starting 19 years. I've got a lot of people that are calling me, interested in buying and selling, mostly just saying, what in the world's going on? Is it now a good time to buy and sell? So I've tried to handle those situations individually because it's not always the same answer for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some folks that are, I have everything ready to list, just waiting for them to give me the okay when they're comfortable. I've had 2 people actually take their houses off the market.
Okay.
One of those is coming back Monday. So it's just kind of a crazy thing. We're still, I tell you, we're not getting showings as far as inside the house showings, but I'm watching the listing traffic every day on HAR. And it is amazing how many hits we're getting on our listings. And I'm sure everybody is, because with people at home, bored, what do? They look around on har.com, right? So what I'm hoping and I'm telling my folks is we're getting a lot of hits, and hopefully when this all settles down, buyers will have a list of homes that they want to see based on their research while they're doing nothing at home. And then once the door opens with showings again, we're going to hopefully have a lot of showings then.
Okay. All right.
Had some closing. Very fortunate with title companies working with us as far as notaries or e-signing or whatever it takes to get them done. So we are still having some closings.
Okay. Serena.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit what you're experiencing as well.
Well, basically, right now, what I'm working with, I work with several investors. So the investors are looking into like price range, like 200 or around that range or a little below that. And I still go out to show them properties. So, and all those properties, usually the ones that they like are under like multiple offers. They have to, like putting higher than listing price. That area is still going pretty strong. As for my listings, basically I have several sellers. They are still like, you know, let's just wait a little bit and see how it is, you know, and see how the market goes before we really do want to put in the market. So we're constantly having those conversations, and I have buyers calling me, talking to me, and say, "So, how low do you think the market is going to go?" And
Yeah.
they always ask that kind of questions
Yeah.
I know that they have the desire to keep in contact with them, keep sending them emails, and then give them market update on a weekly basis, and just hopefully to get them going once everything calms down.
Okay.
For the
Now
COVID-19.
you also do property management. How many
Yes, I do.
properties do you guys currently manage?
Around 150. Around.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are you experiencing in that realm with tenants, landlords? Give us an update on that.
Okay, so basically, right now that the impact started to show in April. The ones that always having are what we call the problematic tenants are
Yeah.
still, you know, having, yes, still problematic. They're like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
COVID-19, we can't pay, you know, you can't evict us, and here's COVID-19. And one of the tenants even sent an email to us and CC the mayor of Houston, and which were like, okay,
Yeah.
so let me send you an email back and CC to the mayor too. So you know that, but we do have tenants who used to be really good tenants, and they experienced loss of jobs, won't be able to work and all that, and they reach out to us and say, hey, we cannot pay for this situation, because when we kind of know that the stay-at-home order is going to come out. We've been on a lot of webinar that's held by IREN, that's held by NARPN and all that. We listened to them, and we started to reach out. First, we reach out to all the landlords, and then we're like, okay, embrace yourself, be ready. We suggest you when the situation come up, what should we do? What should we do? You know, you can do this and you can do that. Because most of our landlords, they are not like, you know, let's say Camden, that has a different, totally different financial tolerance. So they're like, no, what are we gonna do? I'm waiting for this to do this and that. But we would tell them, okay, so chances for us to work with a tenant and to set up a plan and all that is pretty high. So the ones that are experiencing job loss and all that, their attitudes are totally very different. They come into us, they say, you know, I want to pay rent, but right now I don't have a job. And so we ask them, are you willing to work up a payment plan? You know, we can wait, and, you know, so we set up different proposals, or we ask the tenant to give us proposals and do what they can do. And then talk to the owner, just keep the communication going.
Yeah.
That is very crucial for us.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, Marta. Hey, David, thanks for joining us. All right, Marta, tell us first how long you've been in real estate.
About 24 years, maybe.
24
Something
years.
like that.
All right, so I brought out the legends today of real estate. So tell us, what are you experiencing right now?
Actually, not too bad. Not too bad. We've been pretty fortunate.
Mhm.
We had a couple of closings that are moving along nicely as of now. We did have one that the buyer lost their job, or thinks he's going to lose their job. So of course, you know, we're okay with that. So we still have showings in a couple of our listings, seem to be getting quite a few showings. One's like 350, the other one's a complete fixer-upper, complete, and that's always going to happen. So far, that's the one that fell through. So far, no contracts, but certainly, gosh, I've had, 3 showings in the past 7 days. So I think that's big. That's big.
That's good.
Yeah.
as far as I have some clients that were planning to come in from out of town. I've got 3, and they are still planning to come
Okay.
from out of town when they can. So they have not changed their minds. They have not said, oh, well, now we're going to stay here. So everybody's taking it, in my opinion, really, really well. In my opinion, we even got an offer for one of my high-end properties the day before yesterday. We're working on the price, but I think getting an offer in this situation is you know,
Amen.
amazing. Very, very amazing. So good things are happening for everyone. And then some things, you know, yes, we had a contract fall through, and those things are going to happen. It's a scary time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Butch and Marty, you might have a little bit of sense of this. What are you hearing in the oil and gas arena and the effects we're going to see because of that?
I'm just going to say a quick little something.
Yeah.
The contract that fell through,
Yeah.
his job was in the oil and gas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, just my opinion. I think the oil and gas is still big. Obviously, we all know it's still big in Houston. And I think that's actually scarier in the long run for some people. But, sorry.
Okay.
One situation where I was working with some buyers, both husband and wife work in the oil and gas business. We had already contracted. We had finished all inspections on a Thursday. Friday, there's a seller got word that her office was going to be doing some cutbacks. So therefore, they decided to terminate during the option period after already spending a lot of money doing inspections, but just felt that due to the uncertainty, they had to. The seller on that property has come back to us desperate for cash because she has a lot of rental properties that her tenants are probably not going to be able to make payments, and has come back to us with $100,000 off the list price.
Oh my gosh.
That's
is
a big cut.
Very attractive, but my guys are both still just the uncertainty. It was, you know, we hate to say no, but they own some rental property themselves. So to have to think about possibly 3 mortgages, the house that I would be selling, we hadn't even listed yet. So that's my experience with it. I have a lot of friends, you know, being a Schlumberger employee in the past, I still have a lot of friends that work there. They're saying that things, you know, they're working from home and having some cutbacks as well. But having worked in that industry for 14 years, it always comes back. It's just a matter of, you have to hang in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right, David. How long you been in real? Let me unmute you here. I think I have it on mute.
I got it. I did it. So,
Okay. How long you been in real estate?
18 years, been in real estate, and in Texas and in Arizona. So right now I'm sitting in the beautiful Arizona, warm weather. So,
okay. Give us an update, and you can do it nationally. You can do it pertaining to.
well, I'll give you an update. You know, I have the luxury. We got a real estate team in San Antonio and a real estate team in Tucson, and then I'm the OP of 2 market centers with about 410 agents. So, you know, I got my hands in a lot of different fields of what's going on. You know, I think we're pretty lucky in Texas and Arizona that we're not being dramatically affected, although there is a lot of sad people tomorrow. The governor is going to shut down all the golf courses in Texas tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
Oh, wow.
silence if you don't mind.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So that's actually a big deal because, you know, I'm sitting out here living on a golf course, and the golf course seems to be an escape for a lot of people where they can get out and be open. So that's a pretty big decision of doing it. You know, we're seeing from a market here, the biggest impact I think that we're having on areas that are not the epicenters is interest rates, and the mortgage industry is probably having the biggest impact on our transactions more than the coronavirus. We're having to do more things like virtual tours. And this is your market center, right? Your market center meeting, right, Chad?
Yeah, there's some
Okay,
guests
so-
on here too.
I'm
Yes.
talking to a lot of agents. Okay.
Yeah.
Is virtual tours, you know, learning how to, last weekend, a lot of agents that were doing they did 4 to 5 virtual tours all day long, one after another, doing lives on Facebooks and video tours, and they were posting it and boosting it and sharing it. And that one day created 3 leads just off Facebook. So, you know, I think this whole thing, obviously I'm a silver lining guy, and learning how to do our business more efficiently, learning how to, when somebody we're talking to our agents, that when a buyer says, yeah, we're thinking about buying, whether it's now or in 5 months, when the coronavirus is passed, learning to get them on a Zoom conference call right then. And so I think there's a lot of cool things, learning how to have the conversations, learning how to get down to motivation. And the cool thing about the showings that we're seeing, because I talked to, you know, I got about 10 agents that do a huge amount of transactions. And so talking to them, they're seeing less showings, doesn't mean they're seeing less offers. There's less tire kicking, it seems like. And I know a lot of these things you're talking to your agents probably, are you all feeling a lot of the same things, Chad?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think
so,
the one caveat that we have that concerns us is the oil and gas. I mean,
Yeah.
that gives us some positive, some reality.
and Texas is in the news with that specifically with oil and gas. So yeah, I can see that. We're not having that over here. You know, big part of our market in Tucson is snowbirds. Well, their concerns in the money is their stock market, where their money's at. Did that lose value? The colleges shut down. Big employer in Tucson is Raytheon. They're essential services because they're building missiles. So we're not being, you know, we're being hit by 2 things really. It's the service industry, all losing their jobs. And the mortgages, the VA. We have a lot of VA. We've had, just in my top of mind, and I'm not in the trenches like my brokers, I just know 3 or 4 people that had 2 to 3 days before closing, everything changed, the deal fell through on a VA. So those, that's kind of what we're sensing, if that makes sense.
All right, you're a bold coach.
Yeah.
Give us a non-filtered mindset. What do we need to be doing right now?
Well, you know, that's interesting, because in a good market, like, you know, if you talk to people in like Minnesota, and I coach some guys up there, and they got a saying in Minnesota that every agent's a good agent in the springtime. And,
Yeah.
you know, in other words, we don't feel that in warm clients, you know, because in the cold climates, they see this really a lot, right?
Yeah.
We don't like to call it seasonality. They really, truly see it.
Yeah.
So in a seller's market, every agent can be a good agent in a seller's market. And so what you've got to do in this market is you've got to follow all the things we teach in Bold, literally. And that is, you've got to feed your brain with good things. You can't, he was like, Gary, I don't know if you heard, did you hear Gary say this the other day? He said, don't binge watch in the morning. Did you hear him say that, Chad?
No, I missed that. Yeah.
It was a really small comment. He was talking about worry about the agents, you know,
Yeah.
in their houses, is that, you know, if they're binge watching in the morning, they're done. And so, you know, you've got to have a routine in the middle of a non-routine, even with homeschooling. Oh, man. Yes, Andy. I saw Tracy this morning, you know, just, you know, learning how to log in to these classes. And so there's a new stress added in. So I think from a Bold coach thing is we got to watch some things. We got Bold Pivot launching in May, and it's $99. It's not, you can't go back and say, well, it's not the accountable Bold, because we're not going to be able to run it that way. It's going to be, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3 Texas time. You've got to feed yourself some things. You've got to start learning. You got to go back to your journaling and write some positive things down. You've got to call and give gratitude. You've got to watch your affirmations. You'll find in these times, myself included, you find your negative, your complaining may go up. And so you got to watch the complaining side. You know, so I think from a mindset thing, you're right on, Chad. The Bold things that we've learned in Bold about positive affirmations, gratitude, journaling. Go back to the MREA. I wish I had one in arm's length of the energy plan that Gary teaches us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just think about that energy plan. If you're a believer, read your Bible. If you're something spiritual, read spiritual. Little physical exercise, you get the idea. So I think for what we got to do to go through this, we got to go to the basics of what we take for granted when we're all making a lot of money and we're all killing it and we're going fast. So that's kind of my bold mindset that we all need to work on.
Okay. All right. You're sticking on for us a little bit, David?
Yeah, how long do you need me for? I'll stick around for a minute.
Okay, great. Let's go to this. All right, Butch, what's the most important thing that we can be doing right now?
Well, as the panel discussed last week, I think it's just keep in touch, communicate, reach out to current clients, past clients. I'm trying to reach out to my current listings to just keep them going. As David said, give them a little bit of positive feedback that we're still getting a lot of hits. We're not getting a lot of showings, but hang on. We feel like that it's coming back. So for me, I guess it's just take time to go through your database, reach out to people, and just try to keep in touch with your business.
Yeah. Okay. You're also an accountant. You're you know where every dollar goes, or penny, I should say. What would be some? Give us some. That's something that you do well, and yet a lot of real estate agents struggle on the expense and the accountability piece. What advice would you give to agents on this about controlling your expenses and looking into it and digging into the accounting piece?
Well, I think one of the things that for me when I started, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have some months where you maybe sell 5 or 10 or 20 houses, and some months you might sell 2 or 3. So that was one thing I had to learn early on, is to don't spend all your money just because you got it, right? So you got to prepare for days like today where you might not have any closings for a month or 2, but you still have bills. I think you have to spend money to make money. So I'm still trying to spend some money on marketing, but we might have to cut back a little bit in some of that, but don't stop. I think you still have to keep your name and your face out there, whether it's truly whatever form of advertising you're doing. I know Facebook is very popular with everybody, all kind of social media. So I would say try to spend your money wisely, but you got something you can do for free, jump on it.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right, Serena, what's the most
Yes.
important thing that we can be doing right now?
Well, basically for me is I keep in contact with all the database, and also from number one thing is really your mindset. I at the beginning of my career as a real estate agent, I used to work from home for 8 years. During that time, it was like A-okay. This time, gosh, it's hard. It took me a few days to create a new routine and set up the bunker and do that. So I think I am really very grateful that I'm with Keller Williams. Every day, KW Connect send us emails, resources, videos on daily basis to help us with mindset, with skills, with everything. So everything that David taught in Bold, they're like teaching us, giving us more. And just, I think this is something I don't believe any other company has, to be honest with you. So I am really grateful that I'm at Keller Williams. So once you get a mindset right, and I call people a lot more, because I just sit here and call and just say, hey, how are you doing? How's everything going? Just to show that you concern, you care about them. Just keep that connection going. And because you might not have people on the phone just say, oh, I want to sell right now, I want to buy right now, but just keep your voice in their head and keep your intention, your heart in their head, and it's something. You plan it and take the opportunity to learn. That's what I think.
Yeah, very good. All right, Marta, what do you got?
Well, I've got some of the same,
Absolutely.
but I mean, you've got to call them. I think you need to be very sincere. I think you truly need to give them your opinion. I think you have to be very positive though, because we have to be, and we have to be thankful for what we have.
Mhm.
And I think that transfers through. And at the same time, I think when you give them a call, I think you should have a little bit of information. I mean, I think you should be prepared so that if they have a question, you can answer it. Obviously, you can't be everything. So you can say, hey, I'll get to that later. But generally speaking, you have a pretty good idea of what they're questioning and what they want to know. I'm in a, I think, a nice situation in that most of my clients are friends and previous clients, because I've done it for a little bit long. But so that makes it easier, because when I'm calling someone, they're kind of like my friend. I mean, we've been to dinner probably. But just letting them talk to them and be sincere and give them your true opinion. Let's face it, nobody really knows whether their opinion is right or wrong right now, even the experts, right? It's something we've not known.
Yeah.
So, you know, that and be understanding and real. And this is one thing, realize that we don't know what other situations they have and have had. And this is just an add-on. And that's tough when you have a, you know, tough, and then you've got this. So just be thoughtful.
One other thing, Chad, I'd like to throw in is too, basically following up on that with Marta. You know, I think the folks that I'm talking to on my listing side, they know it's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just something we're going through. But I think just for them to hear my voice and to let them know that, you know, just checking in, trying to, as Marta said, give them some positive feedback. I think that is really big right now with people, because the market is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody asked a question, what made your seller decide that they're now ready to list on Monday? What changed their mindset?
So they, I think they're still going to be very restrictive on showings, but I think they just want to get the exposure. I felt like we had the house listed for 2 days. The guy actually is a doctor. And so he came back and said, you know, I'm just not comfortable with this. So we withdrew the listing for a while, and he wants to go ahead and just get exposure. We're probably, I don't know that he's going to allow any showings, but I felt like we had a great presence on the internet. We were starting to get some good traffic after 2 days. So we're going to be putting it back on the market Monday, but I think he would be very selective with actually letting people come in the house. But again, just to get the exposure, hopefully when things do turn around.
Yeah.
Hey, Butch. Maybe an idea for that, and other people might be able to use this too. Gary on call yesterday with him was talking about that he's seen some agents where they were having the sellers actually go through the house and video it themselves and talking about what they really loved about the house and why they bought it, you know, from their perspective. And then they were uploading that to social media. And also where the sellers were interviewing the seller, like in this kind of format, you can record it and then you can post it again. And he said those have been really effective, and it's just something kind of different and neat. So that might be something for your doctor.
Yeah, something to consider. Okay. All right.
Okay.
What were you guys?
Marta, what you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing I wanted to mention when you do talk to your clients, you know, we already have information in place, paperwork in place for the showings, for the buyers, for the sellers, and so forth. They don't know this. Your sellers, your buyers, your clients may not know this. So just make sure that you let this out, that you inform them that, you know, hey, we have this in place. So they may feel just a little bit more comfortable showing. I'm erring on the side of caution on showings myself. I have you know, a client that's in their 80s, and they kind of wanted to let photographers and buyers in, and you know, you just have to consider situation. So although I may put their house on the market just to put it on the market, I'm even concerned about letting that, you know, virtual tour come through there. I may be overreacting, but you know, So,
I think that's
but
smart.
That- that's smart.
We agree with you on that.
I mean,
Completely.
what's the point? But
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay.
so anyway, that's that.
Good call.
All right, David, tell us about Bold Pivot, and why you believe that's important.
Well, I kind of repeating what I said a while ago, honestly, and that is,
I'm
gotta get
telling
our
you,
heads straight.
sell us on it. Sell it. Come on, let's hear you
Yeah.
work it.
Well, first thing is, it's really a no-brainer. It's going to be the format is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3 with solid Bold coaches. It's a little different model. Obviously, doing the room model, we work on all different ways of doing it. And this is going to be done with your top head coaches, your top Bold coaches. I'm presenting the material. Is going to be in live stream format, and you're going to get the Cody Gibbs's, the Steve Schleiters, the Pat Mancusos. I'm going to be running what's called the Coaches Corner, which is a select number of us coaches that are running those on Wednesdays and Fridays, same time frame. And so you're going to be able to come in. The way you want to look at Coaches Corner is you're going to get your content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be new content. I don't think we can ever look at a time where our mindset is more important than ever before. And so that Tuesday and Thursday being in there and being on that live stream and being able to interact, you're going to have some chat boxes going on, and then getting on the Coaches Corner as well. And the ones that really embrace it are the ones that take it back to their market center and maybe use like a Monday as a 1-hour Zoom, things like that, to take it home to your agents right there. So, in Tucson, put my OP hat on. My goal is to have 50% of my agents signed up for Bold Pivot. We're putting our entire calendar around it. And that's going to be our whole May of really immersing ourselves with getting back into the swing of things. So that's kind of the layout right there. I'll be, select a number of us coaches will be in the Coaches Corner and look at it, Chad, like morning coaching, and where interactive, we'll have some content, we'll have coaching, we'll have people coming in and coming out, and you'll have those opportunities to be in those rooms. There'll be several what we call Zoom rooms, as we all know them as now. So a lot of new material coming in from the research department. I was actually very excited to see some of the new content that's coming in that's really going to be impactful in times like these that we probably didn't need. It's like Gary had it ready there, and really getting our head in the right place for where we're at right now of how to deal with the scenarios. Because no matter how strong you are, everybody is dealing with something they didn't really know to expect. Some people are handling depression differently. Some people are escaping. Some people are working harder. Some people get frustrated. Some people just say everything's going to be okay. And so all those things we're dealing with those really in Bold, and then getting in production and getting our business in production. So it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. Gary's it is a gift, honestly. The $99. Gary's subsidizing a lot of this is what's going on, just like he did with MAPS coaching. So that's the Bold Pivot right there. And the content's being fine-tuned right now. It's a lot of it's going to be new stuff, and it's going to be stuff you're going to say, okay, I needed this again. Saying on. So Chad, I think like I said, my goal at my market centers is 50% of my agents doing Bold. I got Steve Schleiter coming in today to do the same thing for my agents. So.
Okay, awesome. All right, if anybody has any questions for David, you can type that in along the way. All right, Andy, you got any questions or thoughts?
Well, a lot of what you guys are already saying, but just reiterating, just reaching out to people. Right now it's service first and sales second. Gary said that, we've said that before. This is not the time to be actively lead generating, and you will never hear me say that ever again. But you do need to be reaching out. You need to be just checking on your people, seeing how they're doing, because a lot of us, I'm sure, a lot of you are like me. I am a very social person, and I find some days where it feels like it's a black cloud has come down over me, just from being kind of trapped inside. And yes, I do have kids there to talk to, but it's not quite the same. I need to get out and have that social interaction. And so it's tough for these extroverted people who are in their houses all day, and just it means a lot just to call and check on them and see how they're doing. So don't forget about that. Also, if you're able, call and check on some of your older, more susceptible people and volunteer to, pick up some groceries for them. I'm not letting my parents go anywhere. It's like, just let me know and I'll pick it up, whatever I need to do. Happy to do that for anybody else too. But just those things you need to keep in mind. Also, I heard a great idea. Again, it was on the same call yesterday with Gary, where some agents went out and found they didn't have the ability to sew. They found a seamstress and had a bunch of masks made and had their logo put on them. Thought, wow, what a great idea. That's not that expensive. I've got some friends that are kind of crafty and making some masks themselves right now. But, just little things like that, whether you're passing them out to clients, but, doctor's offices right now would really appreciate those type of things too.
Okay. All right. Give it, we're gonna have Lender, AMCAP get on and Celebrity, but give us a final thought that you have. What's the one thing, right? We got over 100 people listening to this. What's the one thing that you would want people to take away from right now? You've been in real estate for a while. Yes, you've experienced a lot, right? You went through the 2007, 8, right? You had that. You've been through Harvey, right? We've gone through a 9/11 and the impact. So you've seen it and sat in the seat and still continue to be productive. What's the one takeaway you want people to hear from this call?
Who are you starting with?
Don't quit. Keep going. It's going to get better. Just stay after it. That's my advice.
Okay. What do you got, Marta?
Okay, well, of course, stay after it. I mean, those of us, after 9/11, but everything came back. You just adjust. You adjust yourself to what may be coming. But really, very important is take care of yourself and your psyche. You can't really be positive if you yourself, all right, it's very difficult to fake being positive. So take care of yourself. Do something for yourself. Find something that you haven't been able to do because you've been so busy, you're just pulling your hair out, and just take some time and do it. Just kind of read whatever it is that you like to do, because if you don't, you can't help anyone, your friends, your family, your kids, whatever. And just have a friend that you can pick up the phone and say, okay, I feel pretty crappy today, and they'll understand, and at the end you're going to end up smiling. Take care of yourself.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah,
Serena?
I'll go. You don't
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
First, my first thought is I agree with Andy, and let's not call it lead generation, let's call it contribution calls. So what she says, don't lead generate, what she means is don't sell, but still communicate. Would you agree, Andy?
Absolutely.
The mind share you create today is the market share you get tomorrow. And it is an opportunity for you to be in a bigger piece of the pie for more people in their mind share. And the world real estate will come out and be a consultant. If real estate comes up, be a consultant, because there are some people that have some fears of buying or selling right now, and they really need to sell. And so come from contributions, come from care, and just be in constant contact. You're going to gain market share over this time in their head when the time comes, and you'll be the one they go to because you came from contribution first, which is what we do. That's why Keller Williams, I've always said Keller Williams is a combination of three things. We have the heart of a charity organization. We have the systems of the military. We have the profitability of a corporation. And that's the way every real estate business should be run right now. And your heart, if you'll notice times like these, the charity organization's hearts come out big time. And that's what really needs to be amplified with what we're doing. The others will come in play. So that's, and my last thing, believe it or not, is going to sound very interesting, is go in the evenings, let go of real estate. And if you and your wife need to binge watch something, go do it. This could be a time for you to do something that you don't, it's interesting times. And I think there's part of it we can embrace. Do a project together. Go watch Netflix for 3 hours straight, believe it or not, in the evening, and something you wouldn't have done otherwise. I'm serious. I mean, it sounds, it's a good time to create some memories. And that sounds nutty, but that's kind of what we're doing. So.
Okay, Serena.
Cool. Okay, so yesterday I watched this KW Connect, one of the videos by Jeff Woods and Jay Papasan, when they talk about mindset. So I think I wrote this down. Is that, do you have a mindset of problem or do you have a mindset of possibility? Just like Andy mentioned last time, the Chinese character of, crisis versus opportunities. I think this is the time we need to be reminded constantly, because come on, staying at home, we always probably take up a little bit of unnecessary snacking and unnecessary napping, which is my challenge. That's my challenge, but we have to be constantly reminded of that. So I think mindset is so important for me, and I will remind all the agents to please get on to all the emails you receive from KW Connect. Don't just, just delete it. Go in and watch and download, and then go to, when they have this, book club, Shift book club, go to the pages, have the book right next to you, go to the pages and just read through it. Because I think this is a time for possibility and mindset. Whatever you're doing right now, you are planting the seeds and you're going to see it one day. So that's just what I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're also going to, all right, I'm going to jump on with Dale. Stick around for a little bit and I want to give them a little bit of update. Dale, what are you seeing in the lender world?
Well, there's just a lot of advice that's out there for some of the different lenders and mortgage companies that we've been in contact with, just stating that real estate agents need to have hard conversations with their lenders. Contact lenders that state that they have buyers that are pre-qualified, and get down to the brass tacks. Determine, do these people still in this environment qualify? With some of the talk that we hear of increases in minimum credit scores, that may impact these people that qualified a couple of weeks ago, but now in the new environment, that they're not going to be there. So know who these lenders are. There is an article that was put out by Reuters yesterday that talked about Wells Fargo just completely eliminating certain loan programs. They're doing anything that's a Fannie Mae loan or Freddie Mac, which requires you a minimum of 3% down. Credit scores need to be 640 plus minimum. They will not do jumbo loans. They are not doing home equity loans for anyone. The only way that they'll do a jumbo loan for someone is if they have at least $250,000 in their bank. Wow. So you've got to really know where your clients right now stand in the lending process.
Yeah. Okay. What else do you think it's really critical for us to hear? Because there are a lot of moving parts right now in the financial lending world.
Yeah. So, right now, I think that getting your clients, if we know that they had credit issues or might have had lower credit scores, make certain that they're working with a lender that can potentially put them in touch with a credit repair company. Right now, if people are not allowing you to view homes, to put in offers, be prepared with those clients so that when the time comes and the doors open, that we're in position to be able to make offers that are viable offers that are going to close. So I was just on the phone just now with a credit repair company. They were talking with some different lenders across the country that had talked about FHA potentially going to a minimum 660 FICO score. FHA prior to that was down to 580. So you've either eliminated a very large percentage of your pipeline of potential buyers, or you're going to have to get on track and say, what can we do to get them to a position to where they're still capable of buying?
All right. Good information. All right, Christina, what do you got for us?
Perfect. Hey guys, good morning. Good morning still, right? Yes, 11:45. Title, we have obviously a lot going on downstairs. We're kind of the middleman and working together with everyone to make sure files still get closed. We're not seeing a whole ton of delays downstairs. We did get a few updates from TLTA as of March 31st, so right when we were doing month end. They reopened all of the county clerk's offices. So all of the districts that we were worried about not being able to record documents on time, they actually are reopened, including the ones that didn't accept e-recordings. Like one of our main counties that doesn't accept e-recordings is Brazoria. But they are open now and they are all working from home. So we are still able to close and record in Brazoria County. One of the delays that we are seeing downstairs, though, is with death and divorce decrees, because the district clerk's offices aren't open and aren't due to reopen until the 10th of May. So we do have a couple of files that we've seen had to put on hold due to those circumstances. So everything else is good. We keep in contact regularly with HOAs. They kind of think we're silly calling them, asking them, are you open? Are you working? But yeah, they are. Most of them, as you know, HOAs are people who live in the community and stuff like that. So they have other jobs before their HOA duties. But yeah, we're keeping in contact with them and everything's smooth sailing so far.
Good to know.
Okay, great. All right, Dale, question is for those that are in the middle of refinancing, when the rates, will rates be lockable? How will that be affected? So where are we seeing rates and getting locked in? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, right now, just because of uncertainty and really big volatility in the market, we see rates that are going up and they're coming down for just a brief period. What I would say is get your documents ready. Make sure you've provided everything to the lender in a timely manner so that when rates make sense, that the lender can lock it. We're seeing that some delays in underwriting, some delays in processing of loans. And so when we go to lock rates, we're locking them for longer terms also. So that could be a big difference in getting a rate versus not. So what I would say is be ready to move forward so that when rates come down, again, the financial data says we should be much lower than where rates are currently. One thing that we touched on last week was in regards to purchase business, but also refinance. To make the numbers work, you may need for the seller to kick in closing costs on a purchase to make the whole transaction work. In addition, refinance may require that a discount points rolled into the closing costs in order to do that. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Final thoughts. Anybody, when you're sitting here and you're listening to panel, great stuff, right? This is what I'm hearing, and yet it's a repeat, but we need to be reminded daily, right? These are the times that we're in. If you're going to win with others, you got to win with yourself. That was a theme that I heard constantly. Mindset, taking care of yourself, doing things. And if it's selfish and binge watching, like David said, just give yourself permission for that, but don't do it in the morning. The morning's not allowed, right? Do the things you need to. Touching, coming from service, right? Not worried about the sales, and generally just checking. And the word I want is genuine. People know when you're genuine, you can truly take care of them, and be prepared, because you might call somebody and go, and you know what? We do need help. So be prepared to be able to take care of them, because what we gain today in their heart, their mind share, we're going to get in market share. This is unique. This is a pandemic. Gary Keller was on. He's saying all the same things he was on the call, but he described, he goes, look, I had some servicemen come in at our house to take care of a repair that needed to be done. There were 3 of them. One came in with a mask. The other 2 didn't. He called up the boss and says, if those guys don't come in and take precautions and wear a mask, they're not coming into my home. And I went, I tell you that's the reality of what we live in right now, right? Interesting times. Nobody would have saw that coming. And yet the service piece of, I've had more conversations, people have been up to me than ever before, right? You call people and just say, how you doing? What are you experiencing? If you did that to Andy, you might not get off the phone. Right? Because there's some people out here, they're waiting for your call.
Mhm.
Let's call them. Let's make the contact. All right. Anything else that we might have missed? Any final thoughts that you have?
Guys, it's business as usual in an unusual way. That's just what you need to remember.
Mhm. Mhm.
Still
Yeah.
business as usual. People still need a place to live, no matter what. You've got to always remember that. We just have to be creative right now and helping them get that place.
Yeah. Anything else? Final takes? All right. Well, I appreciate you guys joining. Joining us. Great information. You give me energy, right? There's a reason why you get on. You've gone through this before and you know how to just keep getting after it. That's why I love that. I look forward to hosting on Wednesdays selfishly because of the feedback. So if there's anything that I can do to help you, Andy can help you, please don't reach out to Dale. Somebody asked the best way to contact you. If they were interested in the repair company, yeah, Dale's a great resource for you as well. Dale, how they get
The
hold of
best,
you?
the best way is to call, text, email, fax, whatever works easiest for you. So my number's available. I can give it to you now if you want.
All right, go for it.
281-728-5421.
Okay, awesome.
Contact me and we'll get in touch with them.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
Tim.
Have a great
Thank
day.
Hey,
Thank
let me remind everyone, because I get text about this. The office is closed to the public, but it's open to you. We are still receiving mail and deliveries. Don't have your Amazon delivered here though, guys. But the doors are locked, but there is somebody here. Chad and Barbara come in every single day. So don't think you can't get your check. You can come pick up a check. Checks can be dropped off, whatever you need. The office is just closed to the public, but it is open to you. Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
there's not a lot of people here, but Andy kicks me out of the house. She doesn't want me staying there.
He chooses B every morning. If you've seen that little meme or little video that goes around about what would you do if you were quarantined with your family, and A, family, or B, and the guy says B before even knowing what the choice is. He chooses B.
That's not true. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Great meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
A great
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.